The Juniper-Tree. Long and long ago, some 2,000 years or so, there lived a rich man with a good and beautiful wife. They loved each other dearly, but sorrow must they had most of them. So greatly did they desire the one that the wife prayed for it day and night, but still they remained childless. In front of the house there was a court, in which grew a juniper-tree. One winter's day the wife stood under the tree to peel some apples, and as she was peeling them, she cut her finger, and the blood fell on the snow. "Ah!" sighed the woman heavily. "If only I had a child as red as blood and as white as snow." And as she spoke the words, a hot light within her, and it seemed to her that her wish was granted. And she returned to the house, feeling glad and comforted. A month passed, and the snow had all disappeared. Then another month went by, and all the earth was green. So the months followed one another, and the first the trees budded in the woods, and soon the green branches grew thickly and fine, and then the blossoms began to fall. Once again the wife stood under the juniper-tree, and it was so full of sweet scent that her heart leaped for joy, and she was so overcome with happiness that she fell on her knees. Presently the fruit became round and firm, and she was glad in her peace. But when they were fully ripe, she picked the berries and ate eagerly of them. Then she grew sad and ill. A little while later she called her husband and said to him, weeping, "If I die, bury me under the juniper-tree." Then she felt comforted and happy again. Before another month had passed, she had a little child. When she saw that it was as white as snow and as red as blood, her joy was so great that she died. Her husband buried her under the juniper-tree, and she wept bitterly for her. By degrees, however, his sorrow grew less, that though at times he still grieved over his loss, he was able to go about as usual, and later on he married again. He now had a little daughter born to him. The child of his first wife was a boy who was as red as blood and as white as snow. The mother loved her daughter very much, and when she looked at her, then looked at the boy, it pierced her heart to think that he was always standing in the way of her own child, and she continually thinking how she could get a hold of the pity for her. This evil thought possession of her more and more, and it made her behave very unkindly to the boy. She drove him from place to place with uppings and buffetings, so that the poor child went about in fear, had no peace from the time he left school to the time he went back. One day the little daughter came running to her mother in the storm and said, "Mother, give me an apple." "Yes, my child," said the wife, and she gave a beautiful apple out of the chest. Chest had a very heavy lid and a large iron lock. "Mother," said the little girl again, "may not butter have one too?" The mother was angry at this question. "Yes, when he comes out of school." This then she looked out of the window and saw him coming, and it seemed as if an evil spirit entered into her, but she snatched the apple out of her little daughter's hand and said, "You shall not have one before your brother." She threw the apple into the chest and shut it too. The little boy now came in. An evil spirit and the wife made her kindly say to him, "My son, will you have an apple?" But she gave him a wicked look. "Mother," said the boy, "how dreadful you look." "Yes, give me an apple." The thought came to her that she would kill him. "Come with me," she said, and she lifted up the lid of the chest. Take one out for yourself. And as he bent over to do so, the evil spirit urged her in smirks. Down with the lid and off with the little boy's head. Then she was overwhelmed with fear at the thought of what she had done. If only I can prevent anyone from now. I did it, she thought. So she went upstairs to her room and took her white handkerchief out of her top drawer. Then she set the boy's head again on his shoulders and bound it with a handkerchief that nothing could be seen, and placed him on the sill by the door with an apple in his hand. Soon after this, little Marlene came up to her mother, who was stirring a pot of boiling water. The father said, "Mother, father sitting by the door with an apple in his hand. He looks so pale. And when I asked him to give me the apple, he did not answer, and that frightened me." "Go to him again," said her mother, "and if he does not answer, give him a box on the ear." So little Marlene went and said, "Mother, give me the apple." But he did not say a word. Just she gave him a box on the ear, and his head rolled off. She was so terrified at this that she ran crying and screaming to her mother. "Oh," she said, "I have knocked off brother's head." And she wept and wept, and nothing would stop her. "What have you done?" said her mother. "But no one must know about it, so you must keep silence. What is done can't be undone. I'll make him into puddings." And she took the little boy and cut him up and made him into puddings and put him in the pot. Marlene still looking on and wept. Her tears rolling into the pot so that there was no need of shut. Presently the father came home and sat down to his dinner and asked, "Where is my son?" Ma said nothing, but gave him a large dish of black pudding. Marlene still wept without ceasing. Father again asked, "Where is my son?" "Oh," answered the wife, "he has gone into the country to his mother's great uncle. He is going to stay there sometime." "What has he gone there for? And he never even said goodbye to me." "Well, he likes being there, and he told me he should be away by 6 weeks. He is well looked after there." "I feel very unhappy about it," said her husband. "In case it should not be all right, he ought to have said goodbye to me." But this he went on with his dinner and said, "Little Marlene, why do you weep? Brother will soon be back." Then he asked his wife for more pudding, and as he ate, he threw the bones under the table. Little Marlene went upstairs and took the best silk handkerchief out of her bottom drawer, and in it she wrapped all the bones from under the table and carried them outside. And all the time she did nothing but weep, since she laid them in green grass under the Juniper-Tree, and she had no sooner done so than all her sadness seemed to leave her, and she wept no more. And now the Juniper-Tree began to move, and the branches swayed backwards and forwards, us away from one another, then together again, as it might be someone clapping their hands for joy. But this a mist came round the tree, and in the midst of it there was a burning as of fire, and out of fire there flew a beautiful bird, rose high into the air, singing magnificently, and when it could not be seen, the lunatic tree stood there as before, the substance and bones were gone. Now Marlene now felt was light-hearted and happy, as if her brother was still alive, and she went back to the house and sat down cheerfully to the table and ate. The bird flew away and landed on the house of a goldsmith, and began saying, "My mother killed her little son. My father grieved when I was gone. My sister loves me best of all. She laid her fingers far from me, and took my bones that they might lie underneath the juniper tree. What beautiful bird am I!" The goldsmith was in his workshop, making a gold saying. When he heard the song of the bird on his roof, he thought it so beautiful that he got up and went out, and as he crossed the threshold, he lost one of his slippers, but he went on into the middle of the street, with the slipper on one foot and the sock on the other, still had on his apron, and still held the gold chain, and the pincers in his hands. And so he stood gazing up at the bird while the sun came shining brightly down on the street. But he said, "How beautifully you sing! Sing me that song again." "Nay," said the bird, "I do not sing twice for nothing. Give me that gold chain, and I'll sing it you again." "Here's the saying, take it," said the smith, "only sing me that again." The bird flew down and took the ghost chain in his right claw, and he alighted again in front of the goldsmith and sang, "My mother killed her little son, my mother grieved when I was gone, my sister loved me best of all, she laid her handkerchief over me, and took bones that might lie underneath the Juniper-Tree. She what a beautiful bird am I." Then he flew away and sat on the roof of the shoemaker's house and saying, "My mother killed her little son, my father grieved when I was gone, my sister loved me best of all, she laid her treasure over me, and took my bones that they might lie underneath the Juniper-Tree. Give up, a beautiful bird am I." The shoemaker heard him, and he jumped up and went out in his shirt sleeves and stood looking up at the bird on the roof with his hands over his eyes to keep himself from being blinded by the sun. "But," he said, "how beautifully you sing!" And he called the door to his wife. "Wife, come out here. There's a bird. Come and look at it and hear how beautifully it sings." And he called his daughter and the children. Then the princess, girls and boys, they all went up the street to look at the bird and saw how splendid it was, with its red and green feathers, and its neck like burnished gold, and eyes like two bright stars in its head. "Bird," says the maker, "sing me that song again." "Nay," says the bird, "I do not sing twice for nothing. You must give me something." "Wife," said the man, "go into the garret. On the upper shelf you'll see a pair of red shoes. Bring them to me." The wife went in and fetched the shoes. "There, bird," said the shoemaker, "now sing me that song again." The bird flew down and put the red shoes in his left claw, and then he went back to the roof and said, "My mother killed her little son, my father grieved when I was gone, my sister loved me best of all, she laid her kisses over me, and took my bones that they might lie underneath the Juniper-Tree. Give up, a beautiful bird am I." When he had finished, he flew away. He had the string in his right claw and the shoes in his left, and he flew right away to a mill. The mill went click, 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 click. Inside the mill were 20 of the millsmen chewing the stone as they went click, click, the mill went click, click, click. The bird settled on the lime tree in front of the mill and said, "My mother killed her little son." Then one of the men left off. "My father grieved when I was gone." Two more men left off and listened. "My sister loved me best of all." And four more left off. "She laid her kerchief over me and took my bones that they might lie." Now there were only 8 that were underneath. Now only 5. There's a little tree. And now only 1. Give up, oh, beautiful bird am I." And he looked up and the last one had left off work. "Bird," he said, "a beautiful song that is you sing. Let me hear it too. Sing it again." "Hey," said the bird, "do not sing twice for nothing. Give me that mill song and I'll sing again." If it belonged to me alone, said the man, you should have it. Yes, yes, said the others. If he was seen, then he can have it. Then the bird came down, and with all the 20 millers set to and lifted off the stone with a beam. Then the bird put his head to the hole and took the stone on his neck like a collar and flew back with it to the tree and saying, "My mother killed the son. My father grieved when I was done. My sister loved me best of all." They took her sister over me and took my bones laying that lie underneath the Juniper-Tree. Ah, a beautiful bird of mine. And when the finished the song, she spread his wings, the shin in his right claw, the Susan his left, the millstone round his neck. He flew right away to his father's house. The father, the mother, and the Marlene were having their dinner. "How light-hearted I feel," said the father, "so pleased and cheerful." "I," said the mother, "I feel so uneasy, as if a heavy thunderstorm were coming." But little Pauline sat and wept and wept. Boy came flying towards the house and settled on the roof. "I do feel so happy," said the mother, "and how beautifully the sun shines. I feel just as if I were going to see an old friend again." I said the wife, "and I feel so full of distress and uneasiness that my teeth shudder. I feel as if there were fire in my veins." She put open her dress, and all the while her little Marlene sat in the corner and wept. The plate on her knees was wet with tears. I now flew to the living tree and began singing, "As a cute little son." Her mother shut her eyes and her ears, as she might not see and hear nothing, but there was a warning sound in her ears, like that of a violent storm, and in her eyes a burning and flashing light rapidly gleaming. My father breathed and I was gone. "Look, mother," said the man, "at a beautiful bird that is singing so magnificently, and how warm and bright the sun is, and what a delicious scent is fresh in the air. My sister loved me best of all." Then Emmeline let her head down on her knees and sobbed. "I must go out and see the bird nearer," said the man. "And then I do not go," said the wife. "I feel as if the whole house were in flames." But the man went out and looked at the bird. She laid her kerchief over me and took my bones today that lie underneath the Juniper-Tree. Yeah, a beautiful bird of mine. With that, the bird let fall the girl, saying, "I felt just round in his neck so that it fitted him slightly." He winked aside and said, "See what a splendid bird it has given me this beautiful bow," saying, "It looks so beautiful himself." But the wife was in such fear and trouble, she fell on the floor and her cap fell from her head, and the bird began again. "My mother killed her little son." "Oh," cried the wife, "if I were but a dozen feet beneath the earth, I might not hear that song. My father grieved when I was gone." Then the woman fell down as if dead. "My sister loved me best of all." "Well," said little Molly, "I'll go out too and sit down for will give me anything." So she went out. She laid her kerchief over me and took my bones that they might lie. And he threw down the shoe straw underneath the Juniper-Tree. Yeah, what beautiful bird am I! But she now felt quite happy and light-hearted. She put on the shoes and danced and jumped about in them. "So miserable," she said, "when I can out that has all passed away. That is indeed a spring bird. Asking me a pair of shoes." The wife sprang up with her hair standing out from her head, flames of fire. "Then I will go out too," she said, "and see if it will lighten my little." So I feel as if the world were coming to an end. As he crossed the threshold, smack! a bird to the mist and down on her head, and she was flustered. The fire and the marine progress down and went out, but I only saw Mr. Flame and fire rising from the spot. And when these had passed, there stood a little brother and he took the fire and marine back. And we had all reversed and went inside and sat down to the dinner and ate.